Hello everybody, it's Robert Borges. Thank you for joining me in another vlog. This time I'm going to be talking about Soviet France, Gesture, Signal, Threat. There it is. It has some interesting artwork on the cover. A male and a female. It looks like the female might be pregnant. The baby looks like it's breech. On the back they are murdering one another. You don't see the baby anymore though. And when you open up this CD, this is Charm CD 9, and when you open it up you see this artwork here. It looks like faces where my thumb is, and in the middle, I'm not sure if I'm interpreting it correctly, but it looks like faces to me. And then when you open it up again, you have what looks like a curtain or a shirt, maybe somebody wearing an undershirt. I don't know what that is. And then the CD looks like it has horns on it, some kind of image with horns. Now, Soviet France is ambient, maybe industrial, experimental noise group that made tapes in, I think, the late 70s, but definitely in the early 80s through to the late 80s. They only put out tapes as far as I understand. I don't think they ever pressed any of their music on vinyl. And then in the 90s they did put some of their stuff on compact disc, which is what I have here. This was pressed sometime in the 90s. And their stuff is really hard to find. You're lucky if you can find any of their CDs anymore, unless they are reissuing any of them now, which I'm not aware of if they are. You might want to look at eBay or go to a place like Amoeba or some record store that sells obscure music if you're looking for their stuff. Yeah, it's pretty hard to find, but I was able. This is the only Soviet France CD I was able to get my hands on, and I really wish I had more. I really like Easter. I like Flock of Rotations, and I have bootlegs off of the internet. I know that's not good, but if their stuff is discontinued, it's hard to find. What else are you going to do if you want to hear it and you want to have it? So I do have some illegal downloads of a bunch of their albums, but this is the only actual hard copy that I own. So getting on to the music, this album is about 45 minutes long. It starts off with a song called Goat, which is about 6 minutes long. There's a strange voice at the beginning of it that tells you Jesus is a flower, and then that's followed by a lot of rhythmic ethno beats and unidentifiable wind instruments, minor tape manipulation. Some of it is backwards, but it's very brief. There's also distant metallic crashing noises and unintelligible voices, and something that sounds like a metallic drum, not really a steel drum like you would hear in reggae music, but it's some kind of like a makeshift metallic drum that you hear being drummed on. And then the second track is called Blow. That is 7 minutes long. It is all backwards tape loops. It sounds like echoing voices and unintelligible backwards voices trying to tell you things. There's also a strange horn-like sound that plays one note periodically throughout the song. The third song is called Dhimi, Dhimmi. It's 2 minutes long and it's more backwards, voices echoing, but it's much more sparse than the previous song, a lot more sparse and skeletal than Blow. The next track after that is Signal. It's one of the first signals. There's about three or four signals on the album. So the next track is called Signal. It's 1 minute long. It's a distant, high-pitched horn and unrecognizable backwards drones. It's very sparse, very drony. The track after that is called Bran, B-R-A-N. It's 4 minutes long, and it's very sparse as well. It has a lot of metallic-sounding drums, a flute-like wind instrument, a harmonica-like instrument that you hear periodically, and some more tape manipulation, but not much. And also loud snapping noises that sound like large sticks hitting against each other very, very hard. After that, there's a track called Glisten. It's about 6 minutes long. There's some static and echoing static echoing and tapping noises, and then loud echoing string instrument noises. It sounds like the string instrument is being strummed very quickly. There's also something that's hard to identify, or it's the string instrument. I don't know what it is. It might be a makeshift instrument. It's not anything that I've ever heard of before and that I can identify. There's also some more unintelligible voices echoing and a whistling wind instrument. A lot of monotonous strumming, but it's good. It's not boring. Next track after that is called Host. That's 5 minutes long. A lot of it is rhythmic, distorted bass noises, very monotonous. There's also a high-pitched metallic sound periodically. It reminds me of a spinning helicopter blade. The next track after that is the second signal. This is 2 minutes long. It's a light, repetitious, hypnotic drum noise. It's heartbeat-like. It goes ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom constantly throughout the track. There's a lot of metallic sounds, echoing, tapping noises, and some backwards tape manipulation. The next track after that is the third signal. This one is 3 minutes long. It's a lot of sparse backwards voices echoing. They're very spooky and ghost-like, and a lot of ambient echoes throughout. The next track after that is my favorite track on the album. It's called Threat. It's 6 minutes long. It's a distorted, throbbing bass sound. Again, it's heartbeat-like, but this time very deep. It's very murky, kind of distant, like it's echoing to you from far away. Lots of unintelligible voices again, minimal static sounds. The heartbeat begins to weaken and fade out, and it makes me kind of wonder if this has something to do with the artwork on the cover of the album. When I hear it, I wonder if it's supposed to sound like I'm hearing a heartbeat from inside of a womb, and I don't know if the heartbeat is when it's fading out, if that's supposed to be a death. Is the mother fighting for life? I don't know. And there's also a lot of swirling distant voices in the background. And then the very last track is the last signal. It's 2 minutes long. It's very sparse. There's lots of backwards echoing and rhythmic tapping, and then it suddenly ends. Overall, this album is it's a good album. It's one of my favorites. Favorite Soviet France albums. Actually, it's one of my favorite noise albums of all the ones that I own. I wish, again, that I owned more. Something else about Soviet France that I forgot to mention earlier is that they really use tape hiss. You know, if you cleaned up their recordings and took the tape hiss out, it would ruin it. They used the tape hiss. The tape hiss, all of their albums have tape hiss from beginning to the end. It all sounds very like hazy, like there's a hazy sheen over the music. And it's really important. They use it a lot. And if you listen to this album with headphones, you'll hear a lot of voices buried in the tape hiss that you won't hear if you're listening to it without headphones. It's spooky. It kind of reminds me of those ghost hunter shows where they tape record what seems like nothing, and then they go back and play the tape, and they turn the hiss really loud, and in the hiss you hear voices whispering and trying to say things to you, and you hear that throughout this particular record. I'm not sure about other Soviet France albums. I've listened to a lot of them, but this one, out of all of them, I hear voices more, a lot of creepy voices, and it sounds like they're saying something in French or some language that I don't know. It's all unintelligible. It's impossible to tell what they're trying to tell you, but it's creepy and it's noteworthy. Again, Soviet France, I don't know of any other bands. There probably are some that I don't know of, but I don't know of any other bands that use tape hiss as an element of the music. You know, it's working within their boundaries, working within their limits. They're using something that a lot of groups would consider to be a hindrance or you know, a shortcoming. They're using it to their advantage. And yeah, so Soviet France, Gesture, Signal, Threat. It's a great album. Check it out if you can. Try to look for an illegal download if you can't find an actual copy that you can own, because you should hear it. All right, thank you, and bye.